Hi everyone, and welcome to my A-level biology lecture series. In this lesson, we will explore the need for energy in living organisms. At the end of this lesson, we will be able to outline the need for energy in living organisms as illustrated by active transport, movement, and anabolic reactions, such as those occurring in DNA replication and protein synthesis. Let's get started. As we know that all living organisms require a continuous supply of energy to stay alive. So this energy can be obtained through the absorptions of light energy, such as the plant carry out photosynthesis, or through chemical potential energy stored in nutrient molecules, such as glucose. Autotrophs are organisms that synthesize complex organic compounds, for example, carbohydrates, lipids, or protein from simple inorganic substances such as CO2. And this process requires an energy input. Okay, so this energy input can be the light energy used during photosynthesis, or the energy from the inorganic chemical compound usually used in the chemosynthesis carried out by a certain group of bacteria. Heterotrophs are organisms that cannot use or fix the carbon directly from inorganic sources, for example, carbon dioxide. Like for example, all animals, we won't be able to synthesize complex organic carbon compound from the light energy, okay, and also the carbon dioxide. So therefore, for us to obtain this organic carbon compound, we need to get it from autotrophs. So first of all, photosynthesis transfers the light energy into the chemical potential energy, making it the foundations of almost all life on Earth. So during photosynthesis, the inorganic carbon compound, the carbon atom from CO2 are essential, because this carbon atom will be used, okay, to form biological molecule, okay, such as carbohydrates, lipids, protein, as well as the nucleic acid. So autotrophs synthesize this organic carbon compound from inorganic carbon source and provide very usable complex organic carbon compound for living organism. On the other hand, heterotrophs require a ready-made organic carbon compound supply, and we have to rely on autotrophs for the material, for example, organic molecule for biosynthesis, as well as the chemical potential energy released through respiration. So this diagram actually summarizes the entire process. First of all, we have water together with the light energy and the carbon dioxide. Photosynthesis occurs in the plant, therefore produces organic carbon compound, and oxygen is released as the byproduct. And this oxygen and organic carbon compound will be used, for example, the glucose in respiration. So through the respiration, again, so ATP is produced. And through this respiration, oxidation of this organic carbon compound releases carbon dioxide, and the cycle begins again. So this diagram actually tells us that, okay, the interchangeable or the interrelationship between the photosynthesis and also respiration. So we would like to know, okay, where we use this energy and how we use this energy. So what are these energy-dependent processes occur in living organisms? First of all, during anabolic reactions, where we synthesize complex molecules from simpler units. For example, we synthesize polysaccharides from monosaccharides. We synthesize lipids from glycerol and fatty acid, polypeptide from amino acid, nucleic acid from nucleotides. All these processes require ATP. Next, active transport. Movement of any substances against the concentration gradient definitely require ATP. For example, in the nerve cells, the sodium-potassium pump actively transport 3 sodium ions from the cytoplasm to the tissue fluids and concurrently bring in 2 potassium ions from the tissue fluids into the cytoplasm, and this process against their respective concentration gradient. Therefore, ATP is required. Another example is proton pump. So proton pump actively transport proton from the component cells, again, cytoplasm, into the cell wall against the concentration gradient. And this process again require ATP. Next, about transport, for example, exocytosis, endocytosis. So those movements, okay, of vesicle within the cytoplasm require ATP. So exocytosis, for example, the release of the mucus by the goblet cells, the secretion of hormones like insulin and glucagon by the pancreatic cells. So during the process of exocytosis, vesicle must move towards the cell's surface membrane. So the process of, or the movements of this vesicle within the cytoplasm require ATP. Another process under bulk transport, which is endocytosis. For example, phagocytosis, pinocytosis, we will see that the formation of the vesicle, the change in the cell surface membrane to form the vesicle definitely require ATP. During the phagocytosis, the neutrophil and the macrophage engulf and digest the pathogens. So during the process of phagocytosis, ATP is required. Pinocytosis, for example, the oocytes, okay, the developing oocyte absorb nutrients from the surrounding follicle fluids through the pinocytosis. So all these processes definitely require ATP. Next, the mechanical work, for example, the movement that involve physical motion of cellular components. There are many examples fall into this category. For example, muscle contraction, where we can see that, okay, ATP is required to power the interaction between actin and myosin filament, which we are going to learn this topic in muscle contraction. Cilia and flagella movement, definitely ATP is needed to fuel the motor protein and enable the beating action of cilia as well as the flagella. Any transportation of organelles within the cytoplasm require ATP to power the motor protein like the kinesin and dynein to transport organelles along the microtubule from one part of the cells to another part of the cells. And definitely the change of the cell shape, okay, in the amoeboids, amoeboid movement, so require ATP. Okay, so yeah, these are the 4 important mechanical works that require ATP. Next, let us look at this bioluminescence. So for bioluminescence, some organisms have this ability to produce or to emit light. For example, jellyfish is one of the common aquatic organisms that's able to produce the light. Okay, this light serves for various functions, including predation, camouflage, again, with the surrounding, communication between jellyfish, between this aquatic organism, as well as the emission of the light can actually help to defend against the predator. Some special, okay, some organism, for example, this eel or electrical eel manage to generate and discharge the electric currents under this what we call the electrical discharge. So this electrical eel generates a strong electric current, using a specialized electric organ. Okay, this functions or this ability helps them in the predation as well as the self-defense. And last one, let us look at this, the thermal energy in the endotherm. So what's mean endotherm? Endotherm are those animal, okay, which can maintain a constant body temperature through metabolic heat production. So how this heat can be released, okay, this can be achieved by respiration as well as the shivering. So these two processes allow them to survive in the varying environmental condition. So for us, okay, humans, mammal, birds, we can maintain a constant body temperature through a series of reactions. Therefore, we do not need to depend on the surrounding temperature, and we will be able to maintain a constant body temperature. For example, in humans, we maintain it at 37 degrees Celsius. With that, we have come to the end of this lesson. I hope you have found this lecture series helpful. If you have any question, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Have a great day.